this. I think it's the most spectacular, unbelievable example of people literally trying to steal an election in our lifetime. Forget about the Russians. This was, people at the highest levels of power involved in this.
Oh, yeah, and it's also a total misuse of our counterintelligence capacity, of the FISA court, lying to them. It's an indictable offense, and it needs to be investigated far more than so-called Russian collusion that had no connection to the presidential candidate. And they've been searching around and someone and committing crimes in order to find it for almost 2 years now.
You look at the IG report, what is your initial reaction to it, and especially all the revelations that the top investigator and at least 4 other investigators were so virulently anti-Trump and pro-Hillary?
Well, what it shows is, first of all, that Comey's credibility is gone, which means that the assumption of justice thinks they're investigating has no merit. I mean, it's all Comey's word against everybody else, and Comey's obviously a big liar. The second thing is, this whole investigation sounds like it's completely tainted. It starts with Peter Strzok and his group, who come off the Hillary investigation, which is a total fix, and then they start in, because they're not going to stop it that way, so they started going after Trump on Russia. And then finally, the independent counsel gets there, thanks to Comey, who creates, leaks illegally a memo, and then holds a press conference. And everybody responds to Comey. And the guy they're responding to completely fraudulent document.
From my perspective, Mr. Mayor, here's where I feel. I actually, on this radio program, on Hannity, the TV show, we have put together and assembled a team that have been unpeeling this corruption. I argue this is the greatest abuse of power, corruption in our history. It makes Watergate look like, a third-rate burglary gone awry, but it was, that was to get information on another candidate. This was actually designed to protect the favored candidate from what should have been an indictment, which would have put the Democratic Party in chaos in the lead-up to the election, and then to destroy the other candidate. I don't think we've ever seen such abuse of power. Do you?
If it happened and we didn't know about it, and we're never going to find out about it, I mean, you can't get worse than that. They're first trying to get her elected. Secondly, they somehow, because Comey turns out to be completely corrupt, they end up not indicting her in a case in which it's not possible that she shouldn't be indicted. She destroyed evidence, thousands of pieces of evidence, government property. She lied. She had all the intent in the world. She set up the system. It wasn't like forced on her. She was told to do a different system.
You know what a lot of people are asking me today? Now that it's irrefutable. The evidence is overwhelming. It's incontrovertible. This is the biggest slam dunk case of obstruction of justice and the biggest slam dunk case as it relates to the Espionage Act I think I've ever seen in my life. And you're a former prosecutor, I assume you. What happens to Hillary? Does she get held responsible for what she did, and that is violate the Espionage Act, mishandle and destroy classified information, and then obstruct by deleting, acid washing, and breaking up devices?
Last night after you interviewed, I went back to my iPhone and I saw the little chart that I created for you, 14 offenses that I believe we could prove 2.5 years ago.
You actually added to it. I think we're up to 18, yeah.
You're exactly right. And then over a period of time, we added 3 or 4 more. Those cases are still viable. Very few of them are marred by the statute of limitations. In fact, I think probably at least 12 or 13 of them are open. There's no reason why the Justice Department can't investigate this. There's no suggestion that the Justice Department has a Peter Strzok or a Jim Comey who's totally biased against Hillary. I mean, if anything, I get the feeling that Judge Trump is biased against the president. Do you see this over to a Republican Congress?
So last week or the week before on my radio and TV show, I actually go on the air and I said because Robert Mueller had demanded the phones of people that he's investigating. And I said, now if I were to tell these people to follow what Hillary did, and I said at different points, it's a bad idea, I'm only kidding, and it's not going to end up well for you. But I said, What you need to do is, if I told people that they should delete subpoenaed emails, they should acid wash their hard drive with bleach bit, and they should remove SIM cards, and then break up the phones into itsy-bitsy pieces, hand them to Mueller and say, equal justice under the law, this is what Hillary did. People wanted me arrested for obvious parody of exactly what she did. And the point is, she did all of this. And the irony, first of all, how stupid are these people that they had no idea what I was talking about. And number two, how outraged they were at the idea that I might suggest it when I didn't, when I was kidding, and said I was kidding, and yet she did it all, and they're not outraged about what she did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we need any more evidence. There's a clear double standard. I made this point when I met with Mueller. I said, why don't you give us an investigation on Hillary? Write the report 2 months before he's interviewed. Give me a copy of the report. Conclude that you're not going to prosecute him, and then let's an interview not under oath, no audio tape, no transcription, and you just keep a couple of notes. And then he said, well, you thought that investigation was wrong. I said, yeah, but that was conducted by the guy who's your chief witness, Comey. And you're relying on him. Don't you think we'll rip him to shreds if you ever put him on the stand? Well, we don't have to anymore. The IG did that beautifully, as well as Congressman Gowdy and Senator S. Kennedy and a whole bunch of others.
Well, this raises a question.
Lindsey Graham.
I agree, they were all amazing. This raises this question, though. Because the people that, and again, you have all of these, the top investigator, Trump's never going to be president. No, we'll stop it. We have an insurance policy. He's a menace. He's a loathsome human being, an idiot. And it goes on from there. And so they prevent her. They don't enforce the law. They don't do a real investigation. They're writing an exoneration before they even interview her. He interviews her. And then only a few days later, what's happening? A few days later, it is the same people that begin this Russian witch hunt. Does that render it illegitimate in your view?
I believe so. Just think of those words. I am going to stop him. Indicates he's going to take action. It's not just, I don't like him being president. I'm going to stop him. And then immediately thereafter, he begins an investigation that so far we can't find any basis for. Every time you ask them, what's the basis for the investigation? There is none. The basis for the investigation is their insurance policy. It is a completely created, engineered investigation. I do not believe that we've ever had anything like this before. And I think if their indictments and their reports will all be dismissed. I think Manafort, the guilty plea by Flynn, I think they're all illegitimate.
I agree. And you don't see any circumstances under which, and I want to ask you this, that you would allow him to speak to Mueller or his team. I want to ask you, I am shocked that Robert Mueller put together a team that included Jeannie Ray, who once represented the Clinton Foundation, and a guy like Andrew Weissman. And I don't know if you know his background as well as I do, but it is atrocious.
I know he has at least 2 very serious ethical violations with the Justice Department. And I know he was present at Hillary's, what was going to be victory party, right? Turned out to be a wake-like. And he's alleged to have been crying. Mm-hmm. And then you have this number 2 guy who was, who donated $36,000 to Hillary. That's a lot of money for a prosecutor. Now, when I put together a prosecutorial team in a political case, I always made sure I put together political non-partisans, people who didn't have heavy political activity. Not because of anything else. I had pretty much honest guys, not like a bunch of people like this. But I didn't want the appearance of impropriety. They got both. They got the appearance and the reality.
I got to take a quick break. We'll come back more with former New York City mayor and the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Hey, from insomnia like I have over the years, I've got the antidote. It's neither drug nor alcohol induced, and it's a pillow. It's Mike Lindell's My Pillow. It'll change your life. And like me, you'll fall asleep